Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lucore Automotive. Time to get some parts on the 1979 AMC Spirit AMX. This thing right behind me. As you can see, I have a pile of parts. This is $499.49 worth of parts. Well, plus a couple of things from Kennedy American, who actually happens to be in West Jefferson, right down the street from here. Awesome folks over there who have gotten me my engine mounts and my control arm bushing. But otherwise, I've got brakes, I've got steering, I've got suspension. I've got a flywheel, I've got a clutch kit, I've got everything I could possibly need to get this thing up and running, and some new tires. And as you can see, I listened to Uncle Cooper, and I got some Cooper Cobras. So there we go. Time to put this car back to, well, sort of one piece. As you can see, I also have the motor sitting here on the ground. It is prepped and ready to rock and roll once we get everything finished on the motor, and then it's ready to go in the hole. Yeah, lots to do today. It's assembly day. Stay tuned. Got our front wheels, rear wheels. I do 100% love this super deep dish that's on these wheels. The lug nuts were on here about finger tight, so yeah, clearly not ready to hit the road. The tires themselves are actually not that terrible. They're extremely hard, but they hold air, and they are starting to crack a bit on the sidewalls, as you can see. Could they be driven on? Yeah, probably. Am I going to risk my 2,500 mile road trip on tires because I was a little cheap and wanted to save some money? No. I will save these tires because they are 265 14s, which are literally not available anymore. So I will probably swap them back onto the rears maybe at some point in time for burnout tires, you know. But not something I'm willing to risk my trip on. So I'm going to break these tires then, wheels down, and clean the wheels up a little bit, and then mount my new Coopers on it. Well, an hour and a half later, I got the 16-year-old 265 tires off these wheels. Well, wheels are cleaned. That was not a good time, trying to get those 265s off these things. Now we're going to do the reverse of that and put a little bit too small of a tire on a very big wheel. So these are the rears, which are 14 by 10. These are 235 tires, which are basically the biggest thing anybody makes in a 14 anymore. So, typically speaking, the max you're going to ever want to try to squeeze onto a 10-inch tire, or 10-inch wheel, is like a 255. But because we have a lot of sidewall here, we may be able to get a 235 on here. No promises. So we're going to see if this works. It explodes in my face or it doesn't go according to plan. Then we have a really big problem, and I can't use these wheels. Which, yeah. Okay, see what happens. I don't really see the wall here. Not a problem at all. Pop it right in. Oh my God. I don't really see how it's even possible. Well, put a valve stem back in it and... So here's what our problem is. We didn't know the size of this wheel before we got it off this car. 14s used to be available in a lot of different sizes. Currently they're not. Unless you want to spend $300 a piece for a Coker tire, which I'm not really in the mood to spend. The biggest tire you have optional is a 235 60/14. So this is a 14 by 10 inch wheel. The beads, here's the problem. 235 is only that wide. They put it on this way, make it easier for you to see. Yeah. So I got to make this sit on that, which it doesn't want to do. So we could do some super sketchy mounting techniques where we essentially put flammable stuff inside the tire and then light it on fire, and it explodes and punches out into the beads. Or we can be, hopefully, able to do it with an actual tire mounting apparatus and shove air into it fast enough that it pops out onto the beads. Or I'm really in need of some new wheels. Let's see.
Pretty good on there. They are stretched a little.
We did one!
I think that looks pretty good on there.
So that's how a stretched wheel looks on a classic wheel. A stretched that's how a stretched Cooper Cobra looks on a classic wheel. I have no clue how in the world I'm going to get the same tire on that big of a wheel. I don't know that this is going to work, guys. I think I may have a whole big other new problem. Well, it wasn't pretty and it definitely wasn't by the book, but all 4 tires and wheels mounted up and ready to rock and roll. I'll give you a shot of this. Typically speaking, we don't like doing stretch tires. We'll do them to a little bit, but we don't really like to do it. In this case, I didn't really have a choice because there's nothing available for these wheels. So we essentially put a 8-inch wide tire on a 10-inch wide wheel. The nice thing is we have a nice big sidewall, so it did actually fit. I'm not showing you how we did this, let's just say they fit. There's our rears, which are the 235s now on a 14x10 wheel. As you can see, they're a little stretched, but honestly not that bad. I got them all nice and cleaned up, at least the tires are. The wheels, we'll see if we end up polishing those or not. This is the front wheel, which is a 14x8, and that's got a 225 on it. So it fits pretty well. Now the wheels themselves, they are a little bit beat up. To be honest with you, they can afford to be refinished. Unfortunately for me, that's not in my budget, and I don't really care that much about making these things that pretty. So may hit them with a polishing ball and see if we can make them a little bit prettier, but probably not. Now the other challenge we ran into is these wheels are actually 2 different wheels. The ones that are in the front are Anson Sprint wheels. The ones that are in the rear are US Mag Indy wheels. Both D-window wheels, both look almost identical, but they are actually 2 different manufacturers and 2 different wheels. Now, the nice thing with the US Indy Mag wheels is they have the old school mag lug nut setup. Goes in the middle, right? The problem with the fronts is they have these unilug setups on them. So they were just finger tight on the car when I picked it up with just a mag in there, and that's just not gonna work. So we had to get some adapters. Fortunately, Krager makes a adapter for this, for exactly this purpose. So it's a offset circle washer that the mag lug nut goes in and allows it to adapt. Whoops. And it allows us to run those wheels. Neat thing with these wheels back in the day is you'd have different bolt patterns. They're 5x 4.5, 4 3/4, or 5. And they would drill them to be able basically to do any of those 3 bolt patterns, and then you just use whatever you need to as far as the adapters go. In this case, as you can see, turn this adapter all the way over to this side. Now it's not completely perfect, but the reason for that is this is also not flat. So when you draw this thing down on the wheel with that in the hole, it'll flatten that out and fill in that hole. And then we're good. So, 2 crises averted. Wheels and tires are mounted, which I was not entirely sure we were going to be able to get done. And we have the ability to mount these things back on the car. So, yeah, moving forward. I did also reach out to Rockauto to let them know that one of my rotors did not ship in my packaging, and that's on a Sunday. I had a response back in 2 or 3 hours, and shortly after that I had a shipping notification that they had already created a new shipping label for me. So I have a brand new rotor coming from somewhere, and I will have it in 2 days. So well done, Rockauto. We appreciate it. If you guys had a store, it would be a more amazing thing than I could imagine, but you guys give us pretty dang good customer service, especially for the price. Now, I'm gonna actually get back on this car and actually get some work done other than just mounting wheels and tires. So we're gonna start with steering and front stabilizers. Here we go. Having fun. I win. One. All right, both front sway bar links disconnected. sway bar mounting bolts out and drop the sway bar out. You serious? That's why you don't use impacts all the time. Two. Well, broke one on each side. Yippee. Alright. Those definitely need cleaned up. As you can see, the sway bar bushing was not exactly in good shape. So, yeah, she's gone. No big deal, got new bushings. Get this bar out, start cleaning it. Yeah. Oh yeah! 1-inch sway bar from the factory. Very nice. Unfortunately, it's covered in rust and 50 years of schmutz. So we're gonna clean this thing off as best we can, and maybe throw a little paint on it, and then figure out how to mount it again, since I broke off my 2 bolts in there. And yeah, at least that part's done. Well, that's about 9 hours of wrenching. Those wheels and tires really roughed me up. As you can see, removing even the sway bar links was a pain in the neck. I am exhausted, and I'm gonna call it quits. But I've made some progress. I've got sway bar off. Sway bar is painted. I've got brand new sway bar links that are gonna go in. My steering seems like it's gonna come off without a problem, which is a good thing. So I'm gonna pull the steering off next and then do the brakes. Now I am waiting on another brake rotor. So once I get the other brake rotor, then I'm gonna start tackling the brakes themselves. We've got a solution figured out for the wheels and tires, so we made a lot of headway on that. It doesn't really feel like I got a lot done, and I'm a little frustrated because I know I'm starting to lose some time here, but I don't want to push myself too hard. So there you go. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. I'm sorry I didn't get as much done as I wanted to. Lots to do still. Next video will be coming soon. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this trip as I work on this 1979 AMC Spirit AMX. Get it ready for the 2500 road trip. I still think I'm going to be able to get this thing done. I'd like to have it running in 2 weeks, and I think that's possible, but we'll see what else wants to fight me. Clearly not all those bolts want to come off this thing. So I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks as always for watching. Please do click on the subscribe button if you haven't already. Feel free to leave us a comment. We always try to get back to people as far as with comments and questions and that kind of thing. And as always, please click on that like button. Helps YouTube know that you're actually paying attention to what we're doing, and then you like what we're doing, and we'll keep on doing it. So I'm gonna go take a shower because I'm disgusting, and enjoy my evening, and then I'll get back to this thing tomorrow. We'll see ya.